Craig in the white shirt is seen trying to explain to a Fort Worth police officer that a man, one of her neighbors, had choked her son for littering.
My son is 7 years old. You don't have the right to grab him, choke him behind no paper that he threw. What you should have done, because we have been living here for years, so you know that my house is a door in between doors. You could have came to me. Don't put your hands on my son.
Then, things escalated when the officer appeared to begin criticizing Craig.
Why don't you teach your son not to litter?
He can't prove to me that my son littered. But it doesn't matter if he did or didn't. It doesn't give him the right to put his hands on it.
The officer warns her if she continues to yell, he'll take her to jail. Then, a daughter steps in to talk to her mom, and that's when it got chaotic. The video jumps to the officer, putting Craig on the ground and handcuffing her. He then goes over to the daughter and puts handcuffs on her. All the while, those nearby were yelling and screaming. Craig, her 19-year-old daughter, and her 15-year-old daughter were arrested, charged with resisting arrest. Craig was also charged with failure to identify. The 15-year-old charged with a misdemeanor. After spending the night in the Mansfield jail...
Yes, what's up, everybody? This story about this Fort Worth police arresting this woman for yelling at him over her son littering. This is what had happened. Her son was littering, and I guess the guy, a white guy, choked the 7-year-old, and I guess she went to go confront the guy, and then she called the police and stuff, and she was explaining to the police, you know, what had happened, and she was saying, you know, I'm doors down. You could have talked to me. You should not choke my son like that. Y'all heard it in the video. And so the cop said why, you know, why he should, you know, why, and, you know, you should teach your son not to litter. And she said it don't matter. He should not put his hands on my child, which is true. You know, nothing justified this video of this officer's action and what the guy, the neighbor, had did to this child. And I had looked at an updated video of this, and so far this officer is on restrictive duty, and till the investigation is over with, and the chief of police said that he couldn't call this racism, but he called it rude, what the cop did. Okay, if the cop was rude, then that means that the cop, what they're saying is the cop didn't do nothing wrong, but he was just being rude. He was being mean. But I think there's more to this story. And the family, the Craig's family, pretty much called it racism. But I look at it like this: if you're not gonna call it racism, call it assault, because he grabbed that girl, you know, when she, you know, walked up to her mom and stuff like that, and, you know, he could have told her back off, and he just grabbed her and then slammed her mom down on the ground, and of course you're gonna be upset. And then this other girl that's recording the whole thing, she cursing and calling the cop bees and punk and all that other stuff. but that still doesn't justify, what the cop did and his behavior. Of course, the girl recording was, out of line by, yelling and screaming and calling the cop bees. But the cop was out of line first, and he escalated it. And when you're a cop, you're supposed to have control of the situation and de-escalate the situation. You know, but he didn't do that. So they investigating it right now, and yes, the woman was right. He should not put his hands on her child because he's only 7 years. The child is only 7 years old, and he's a young adult. Anybody that if somebody put their hands on their child, they're gonna react and they're gonna be upset. So what did a cop expect when he came in on the scene? The mother to be calm and all forgiving? No, she's a concerned mother and she cares a lot about her kids. And littering is not it's not murder, it's not assault, it's not like he stole something. It's just a ticket. It's just a penalty. That's all it is. It's a fine. And a lot of people litter. It's people in my neighborhood right now, and I live in the best neighborhood ever. I don't, live in no ghetto or nothing like that. I live in a really good neighborhood. But it's people in my neighborhood litter sometimes, and there's some kids in my neighborhood litter. So this is not nothing new, and it should have been a big deal in the first place. And he should never choke the child. So tell me what y'all think about this. This story is just, oh man, I'm getting tired of watching stories like this. But until then, peace out and subscribe at Up in the House Records TV. And I will talk to y'all later.
They bonded out this afternoon.
I'm very distraught because what I felt I was doing was actually protecting my child, and it didn't happen. It made